Y'all know me, Gemini, different ass niggas. Just be on my shit. All kind of shit going on. My brother doing 30. I gotta do something out here. Something different out here. You already know. Nigga really is from the block though. But you ain't never heard shit like this from the block before. Yeah. Top down. Top down. Pull up with the top down. See me wrong with the top down.
Yes, I did end the intro like that. I've been struggling to make one, honestly. There's just so many ways to cut and edit these videos. So many good songs out there to use. So many this, so many that. Let's get right into the video. So the Honda S2000, the best all-around sports car you can get, especially, on top of that, a convertible. Now, I know convertible isn't for everybody, but it's definitely for me. I really like it a lot, especially in this car. And I have not actually, I don't think I've driven this car with a hard top on it yet, but I really wouldn't discount it. It's probably a great experience. It's probably even better. One of the worst parts about talking on a car that I actually don't own anymore is that I have to do it in this format instead of actually walking around the car and getting to talk about it in depth and having to actually show you guys around. And I really, really apologize for that. I sold it to a friend who's still local to Georgia. You can probably find him anytime, anywhere, especially around the Pleasant Hill area. Now, more about the car. So this eye candy, to all ages and to everybody, really, I've found in Florida for around 20,000 USD at around 65,000 on the odometer. So it was a pretty good steal. The previous owner was someone who tracked the car, and the only modification on it was a Carcept sway bar. Now, I don't remember if this was a rear sway bar or a front sway bar, but driving my neighbor's Paul's S2000, who didn't have a sway bar, and then driving the one with the sway bar, I can feel the difference almost immediately. If I can find the previous owner's YouTube, I will, because before I bought the car, there were videos on it on his YouTube, and so he showed it. I think he was chasing either a Porsche or another higher end, way more powerful sports car on the track, and he was on his ass. Like, this is the kind of car that will do that. This is the kind of car that you can push to chase Corvettes and stuff like that on the motorsports on the track. It is there. It is there. It is up there. Now, I don't know if I would ever track this car. I think that it is honestly too nice to track. Like, I don't really know how to communicate it any better than that. Like, it's too nice of a car to track, especially now that it's becoming more rare. Well, I can't do a cost breakdown again like I did with the Toyota 86 video. The S2000 is probably honestly in the same range for taking good care of it and the kind of aftermarket mods you can get to support the vehicle. The price range is probably the same. Honestly, I don't know why people buy the 86 if you can buy an S2000 when they're around the same price point, especially now with the GR86. But there are S2000 owners that are leaving the S2000 platform for the GR86. I don't know if I want to make that its own separate video altogether, because it's a very big topic of debate, controversial, I feel like, to some S2000 owners. In my opinion, I'll probably just reserve it for that video. Lightweight, quick, timeless design. This has it all, honestly. It's going to be probably the one car that any car owner or sports car fan should get and own for even just a little bit. I think that everyone should experience this car. I genuinely do. I know that this video is probably going to show to a bunch of S2000 owners on YouTube and YouTube's algorithm. I don't really know how it works, but if you clicked on this video, it's to confirm your own bias, and it is true. Yes, the car is the best car out there right now. This is the best Honda, in my opinion. This is probably the best convertible car you can get to. I've never driven the Boxster, but I know that the S2000 is just way more better when it comes to maintenance anyway, and it's easy to work on as well. There's no shielded covers and all kinds of crazy stuff on it, like the BMWs, Zs, and the Boxster. If you clicked on this video for some reason because you hate the car, you want to argue against it, like, I don't know why. I really don't know why. If you've driven this car, especially more than 1,000 miles, then this is it should speak to you. If it doesn't speak to you, you probably don't belong in a car altogether at all. You probably only belong in your mom's basement with a fucking controller and playing Forza Horizon or something like that. Now, I do have to say that not many people drift this car. And so if you're into drifting and JZX 100s and that kind of stuff, then this is probably a car that you would never ever look at. Coming from the 86 platform, this is an upgrade. It feels more raw. It's quicker, agile, and it does this natively. And you can do the same kind of mods with it, and it'll react way better in the S2000, right? Doing a supercharger kit or even turboing your S2000. So I definitely prefer the S2000 over the 86 platform right now, especially the ZN6. I have not driven the GR86. Again, we'll make another video comparing the two when the time is right. So I really can't think of another car that could win me over in price, performance, and design. It is the car. I'm telling you, I've repeated it countless times now. Like, if you have the opportunity, you need to try this car out. If you're into sports cars, you need to drive this car. At least, at bare minimum, you rent one and put 1,000 miles on it or something crazy. You have to do it. If you have a friend that has one, you have to be like, hey, can I drive it? Especially if it's stock. I think it's really important to drive the stock S2000 first, and then anyone's modded S2000. For many, the S2000 is the summit of their mountain. It is the peak of what they could get to in sports cars. And honestly, there's nothing better. But I personally think that this is an excellent stepping stone into something way more faster and way more agile and like in the same class. Unfortunately, I do also think that when you drive the S2000 and if you drive it hard and you get really, really used to it, like the Ferraris and the Porsches and stuff like that you start seeing on the mountains, you can actually really get into that class of, starting to chase them really well and even get away from some, especially the inexperienced drivers. Now, I'm not advocating for that. I'm not saying you need to go to the mountains and you need to chase these people down. You need to prove that you're the best on the mountain. You need to prove this and that. But I am just saying that this is really that car. And although it could be a stepping stone into something better, this is many people's final car. And I respect that. I really do. I understand completely why the previous owner had maybe 2 of these. Beyond that, I don't really have anything else to add to this video. I've enjoyed almost every other S2000. Well, actually, I should say all S2000s that I've seen. And in Georgia, you need to get one. This is the video. If this is the video that you needed to watch to get one, you need to get one. I do want to say that even though the price has kind of inflated recently, I do think it's still very much worth it, especially if it's under 30,000. When it's beyond 30,000, it's it's considered an investment piece now. Like, do I want to use this to accrue value and resell later? Because if you drive it, it's just not going to retain its value. And even then, I wouldn't recommend using vehicles for investment vehicles. But hey, that's not for me to decide. Anyway, I do think again that it is worth around 30K, even a little bit lower. 27K, the 25Ks that I've seen, especially if it's not crashed.